How to teach Russian writing to children. They are learning Russian as a foreign language. How do they move from recognizing Cyrillic letters to writing their own texts? Today, I'll show you the exact exercises I use to teach writing to children aged 7 to 9. We'll cover practical activities for beginners, strategies for helping students start writing independently, and finally, we'll talk about the fascinating difference between spoken and written language. Let's get started. Students are between 7 and 9 years old. Our first goal is straightforward. Introduce them to Russian graphics, the Cyrillic alphabet. Our second goal is to teach spelling. The good news is that both goals can be achieved at the same time. So, what writing exercises work best at this stage? The simplest exercise is copying. Students can copy words, sentences, or any language they've recently learned. It may seem basic, but copying helps children become familiar with letter shapes, spelling patterns, and word structure. If copying feels too difficult for some students, try crosswords. Crosswords combine writing practice and spelling practice in a playful format. There are many online tools that allow teachers to create custom crosswords using vocabulary from their lessons. As students fill in the answers by hand, they reinforce spelling and letter recognition naturally. Dictations are one of the most powerful tools we have. They reveal almost everything: how well students hear Russian sounds, how well they recognize words, whether they remember spelling patterns. Dictations are equally valuable for teachers because they clearly show where students need more practice. Another excellent exercise is working with anagrams. I use two versions. Version 1. Students build words from letter cubes or letter cards. They physically move the letters into the correct order. Version 2. Students see scrambled letters written on paper or on the board. Interestingly, many children find this version more difficult, even though the task is exactly the same. In both cases, students practice remembering the order of letters within words. Another favorite is a game I call Crocodile. Adults may know it better as hangman. Students know how many letters the word contains and guess one letter at a time. Each wrong guess brings the little figure closer to danger. Children love it, and it's a fantastic spelling exercise. There are two rules I always follow. Rule number 1. Students must always have a model in front of them. Always. We don't ask children to invent spellings from memory. At this stage, they simply don't have enough language stored in their minds yet. Learning begins with imitation. Copying is a natural and necessary stage of the learning process. Rule number 2. Before writing, students should read the material aloud, practice it orally, only then write it down. Language is acquired through listening first. Children need to connect what they hear with what they see on the page. If we skip the listening and speaking stages, writing becomes much harder. Students can confidently write Cyrillic letters and complete dictations successfully. We can begin introducing independent writing, but very slowly. And here's an important point. I don't expect young children to express deep personal thoughts in Russian immediately. Many children are still learning to express their ideas clearly, even in their first language. Instead, we begin by helping them write using structured models. At the Soroka 3 level, we begin with lists. Lists are simple, manageable, and accessible, even for students with limited Russian vocabulary. This gives them early experience of creating written language on their own. After lists come short sentences, then short paragraphs. Each step builds confidence before introducing greater independence. One technique I particularly like is using diagrams or writing organizers. First, students work with a complete text and a completed diagram. Then some blanks appear. Gradually, more and more information disappears. Eventually, students fill in the entire structure themselves. Throughout the process, we provide support, step by step. The goal is to hold the student's hand until they feel strong enough to walk independently. Let's finish with a bit of theory. What do speaking and writing have in common, and how are they different? When we speak, we use intonation, pauses, facial expressions, gestures. When we write, we only have words. As a result, readers may interpret the same text differently. You can read the same message today and understand it one way. Tomorrow, you read it again and see a completely different meaning. The text hasn't changed, your perception has. This is one reason misunderstandings and conflicts happen so often on social media. One person writes in one context, another person reads in a different context. Speaking and writing are both productive language skills. That means we must create something ourselves. We produce language. Listening and reading are receptive skills. We receive information rather than create it. Every healthy child naturally learns to speak, but writing doesn't emerge automatically. It must be taught. That's why writing deserves focused practice and careful instruction. Here's something interesting. Even if someone reads a written text aloud, it still sounds like written language. Listeners can usually hear the difference. Natural speech is spontaneous. It's full of pauses, repetitions, and imperfections. Text messages, on the other hand, often resemble spoken language written down. That's why many people prefer sending voice messages. When speaking, we don't have to carefully organize every sentence. Writing forces us to stop, think, and choose our words deliberately. And that's exactly why writing is such a valuable skill. So those are the exercises and principles I use to develop writing skills in young learners of Russian. From copying and dictations to guided writing and independent texts, every step matters. I'd love to hear from you. How do you teach writing to your students? What activities work best in your classroom? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with other language teachers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.